If you want to see what full-blown panic looks like ahead of tomorrow's debate in Atlanta, here's Donald Trump's latest post on Truth Social. Crooked Joe Biden's handlers are loudly and profusely complaining that there will be no fact-checkers during the debate on Thursday. Actually, that is just disinformation. They could not be happier because there is nobody that's as loose with the truth as Crooked Joe. From the 51 fake intelligence agents, to Russia, 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 to the fake suckers and losers story he created about our beloved military, to cheating in college and saying he was first in his law school class when he was actually last, to claiming he marched for civil rights, drove trucks, and has a 6.2 handicap. He can't hit the golf ball 10 yards, but that's a minor detail. And so many more falsehoods. The man is a walking lying machine and a fact-checker's dream. Maybe we should call him Lion Joe in addition to Crooked. Now, first off, if you needed any more proof that Trump traffics in straight projection, it is the guy who lied over 30,000 times while in office, suggesting that Joe Biden is the liar here. What's next? Blaming Joe for paying off too many porn stars while his wife is at home with their infant son? In effect, this screed is actually pretty helpful because the blatant projection here on the issue of lying, which quite literally no one attributes to Joe Biden over Donald Trump, goes to show that anytime Trump or his mouthpieces attack Biden, they are just covering for Trump's own culpability. The Biden crime family is a tell that Republicans are trying to downplay Trump's crime family. The Biden impeachment effort is a tell that Republicans are trying to downplay Trump's impeachment. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Every accusation is a confession. But Trump's incessant complaining gives rise to another, even more baffling phenomenon, and that is Trump's undying need to be perceived as the victim. Think about it. This guy parades himself around as a strongman, aligns himself with the world's autocrats and dictators, beats his chest about how tough he is and how he can't stop winning, and yet at every single turn, on a daily basis, he bitches and moans relentlessly. Literally everything is evidence that somebody else is out to get him. He is a professional victim. I have seen less crying from newborn babies. But sure, strongman. Got it. In fact, that's a point that Adam Kinzinger made today when he, a former Republican congressman, made the decision to publicly endorse Joe Biden over Donald Trump.
Former Congressman Adam Kinzinger. It's good to see you again.
Yeah,
Why announce today?
I mean, it just feels right. Look, we're getting ready to really hit the heat of the general election. I think it's really important for people to understand, particularly the 20% of, let's just call them the 20% of Haley voters, for them to understand that this is a stark choice. This isn't just, who do I agree with more on certain issues? I actually don't even really know where Donald Trump stands on many issues. But this is about, does democracy survive the way we love it, or does it not? Do we continue to change these standards? I lived through January 6th. I didn't watch it on TV. I was there, and I have a 2.5-year-old kid that I do not want raised in a country where things like that are okay to happen. So for me, it's just, we've got to put decency above maybe political differences, and it's just the right thing to do.
Over our many conversations since you left Congress, you made no secret of your disagreement and distaste for Donald Trump, what he stands for and what he's done. But did you wrestle with this decision? What did you wrestle with most in making this choice?
I mean, I guess I wrestled to the extent of endorsing a Democrat as a Republican is a big deal. But to me, it wasn't much of I didn't have to look in the mirror and look into my soul or anything like that. I have spent the last few years on a committee, the last couple years in Congress, looking at the direct link between Donald Trump and what happened on that terrible day. And I hear the acidity, the acrimony that comes out of, many people who are supporting Donald Trump and some of the people around Donald Trump, because he's created a culture of just anger and division. And for me, it wasn't a hard thing to say, look, I really put a lot on the line when I decided to go on the January 6th committee. I'll do it at this because this is truly the most important election of my lifetime. And I want, like I said, my kid Christian to be raised in a country where decency in the greatest office in the land is still something that people look up on, and not have a president that continues to punch down because he's such a whiny, weak victim that he's scared to death of anybody that says anything mean about him like Donald Trump does.
And yet, still, Trump will frame himself as a strongman, all the while whining and crying about literally everything. And let's be clear, his mouthpieces are getting the picture. They know that Trump is panicked about the debate, which is why they've already begun laying the foundation for Trump to drop out.
Now, there are some even saying, Mark, that Donald Trump might be wise to just pass on the first debate, wait till he's nominated, then debate him. What would you say to that?
Does that sound like a political party that's confident in their standard bearer? Does that sound like a political party that feels good about the outcome here? Of course not, which is why, if Trump wanted to drop out, they've already given him cover to do exactly that. And of course, because again, Trump is never to blame, they've already supplied him with pre-formulated excuses. It's Casey Hunt's fault that Trump will have to drop out because she was mean to Trump's press secretary Caroline Leavitt at CNN. It's the nomination process's fault, and it's too soon to debate. The excuses are as pathetic as they are transparent, because the point here is not the merits of the excuse, it is the fact that Trump has an excuse at all to not show up. It's almost like his mouthpieces are starting to understand that Trump getting on stage and railing like an unhinged lunatic for 90 minutes may not redound to his political benefit. Imagine that. After all, here's what it looked like the last time Trump was on stage with Joe Biden.
You shut up, man. Listen, are you in favor of law and order?
I'm in favor of law. You follow it.
Are you in favor of law and order? Go
yes,
ahead.
You asked a question. Let him finish.
Law and order.
Let him,
Protect
Mr.
people
President,
with
I'm the moderator of this
pre-existing
debate, and I would like you to let me ask my question, and then you can answer.
First of all, I guess I'm debating you, not him, but that's okay. I'm not surprised.
The fact is that everything he's saying so far is simply a lie. I'm not here to call out his lies. Everybody knows he's a liar.
But you
I just
agree.
want to make sure.
Joe, you're the liar.
I want to make sure.
Graduated last in your class, not first in your class.
I want to make
Mr.
sure.
President, can you let him finish, sir?
No, he doesn't know how to do that.
Gentlemen, I hate to raise my voice, but
he's
it
on
seems to be, why should I be different than the two of you?
If you think that guy is going to do himself any favors on the debate stage, you are living on another planet. That is an unhinged lunatic who is incapable of controlling himself. That guy went on to lose the election and since then has incited an insurrection on January 6th and became a convicted felon 34 times over. That is not how you expand your tent. That is not how you reach independent voters or suburban moms. This is a guy who quite literally cannot run a charity. The notion that this human wrecking ball should be in charge of the nuclear codes would be akin to signing a death warrant for our democracy as we know it. So I get that he's panicking, and he has every reason to. He is a megalomaniacal narcissist who is about to remind the entire nation exactly why they showed up 81 million strong to take his job away the last time. And while he may have benefited from his relative obscurity these last few years, with no daily COVID briefings, no Twitter account driving the news cycle, he's about to show the entire country just how dangerous, incompetent, unqualified, and unhinged he still is. If he hasn't dropped out yet, frankly, he probably should. I've got a really exciting announcement. I've written a book. It's called Shameless. This book explores how Republicans have exploited their historical branding while attacking our democracy, how the media has proven itself a willful participant, and how Democrats can learn from this to rebalance the political scales and save our democracy. It has been a lifelong dream of mine to write my own book, and so I'd like to ask you to pre-order it by clicking the link right here on the screen. And if you buy within this pre-order period, your book is going to come with a signed nameplate. As you know, I've never had a single sponsor on my channel. I don't ask for money or anything like that, but if you're looking for a way to support me, this is hands down the best way to do it. So again, follow the link right here on the screen, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for pre-ordering Shameless. And as always, make sure to subscribe to see more of my content.